welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in Brisbane in particular and speak with the Sherwood Magpies women's football team who won their grand final only 2-3 weeks ago now, of course, down on the Gold Coast. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks, Bree, for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on. How you going?
Tell it. I'll have to get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you played on grand final day.
All right, well, I'm Sammy and I'm the captain of the Sherwood girls women's. And, well, I suppose I play mostly centre and forward, but then again, on the day I ended up in backline, so just a bit of an all-rounder.
And I'm Kate, and I predominantly play in the forward, but I was also in the midfield. So, yeah, a bit of everywhere on grand final day, honestly.
Yeah.
My memory serves me correct about that grand final. It was down at Bon Uni. It was a pretty overcast, wet day, wasn't it?
It was definitely overcast, and there was, rain earlier. But while we were playing, we had no rain whatsoever. So the ground was a little bit soft. But just the fact that we didn't have the sun blistering on us was actually really nice, good conditions. A little bit of wind, but was perfect for us. So,
tell us about the grand final. And I guess I'm assuming most things went to plan.
Yeah, I think it all went to plan. It was just the whole team kind of, like our coach Mitch, had a plan for us, I suppose, and everything the whole team gelled together, and we just got on a roll in that first half like we haven't all season. It was just amazing. Usually we're a kind of team that it takes us a little bit to warm up, but something happened on grand final day where that first half we just came out like guns are blazing, and it was awesome. But we also played a good second half, but we really gelled in that first half, which isn't like notorious for our team.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, your opponents was Jindalee, which I believe you never beat them up to the grand final. Now, how did you manage to pull it off? And what did you learn from the last 2-3 encounters to not do again in the grand final, which obviously proved to be the case?
Well, I suppose we played them twice throughout the season. And obviously having like the home ground advantage as well on those days. But yeah, Jindalee the first week that we played them throughout the season had us by, I don't think it was much, maybe 12, 14 points. And we actually had a lot of injuries from that game itself. And then later on in the season when we played them again, we were just really ready for that physicality aspect of it. And I think, unfortunately, we went down by 1 point. So the margins were really, really tight the whole game, and you could just see the absolute fire that was amongst both teams to get there. So I think that kind of really revved us up in terms of, this is the grand final day. Jindalee, we've been close. We just didn't quite get that little bit over the mark, over that line. But yeah, on grand final day, you could just see all of the girls, like we were really hungry. We were really fired up. We were ready for it. We were definitely well prepared, which is an absolute credit to Mitch and the rest of our coaching staff. But yeah, I think the girls, we were really ready to take that challenge on. They'd got us twice during the season, and so we were just hungry for it.
How satisfying was it to beat the Jags on the game that counted?
It was just the best feeling. Hey, I personally hadn't played the Jags just due to like work commitments, but going back to trainings after we had lost from them was just, you could feel that it sucked every time we did get beaten by them. And then to beat them on grand final was just the most satisfying feeling. Obviously we had everyone on our team, that had maybe sat out for injury and stuff from the final, and they were all obviously there at the final, and they, lost to the Jags. So I think it meant a whole lot to the whole team and our whole community, all the supporters, to beat them was really satisfying.
That you were the most valuable player, knowing that you didn't play against them twice throughout the year. You were the key player that made the difference.
I wouldn't say that. At all. Yeah. I'm not saying that straight away. I just mean I hadn't had the experience against them. But no.
Now, in saying that, if my memory serves me correct, you were the best on ground in that game, weren't you?
Yeah, I did get it for the final. Yeah.
So my question I want to ask you, number one, were you surprised that you got it? And number two, did you think you played an awesome game to be rewarded?
I was very surprised that I got it because I think like the margin must have been really close between me and so like since watching it back, like say Samara Mahoney, Tiga Higgins, like we had some really Sammy, like we had some really good players out there. Like everyone just shone on that game. I don't know. I think like the team made me look good. That's for sure. So like I think I played good, but I think it was the support of everyone else that just seemed to make my plays look good. Like even in like watching the ruck back, like yeah, I got the ball, but who was going up ruck and who was calling the shots and telling me where to stand because they're gonna flick it straight to me. Like it was. I think it's hard to pick someone who was best on ground when the whole team, we just all worked together and it made everyone look like they were playing their best. But I feel like I did play a good game though. I hadn't played for I'd had to sit out like maybe 2 weeks or something because of work commitments again, but yeah, it was good.
I need to ask both of you this question. Was there a particular point in the game? Now, I actually watched your grand final and seen it back again since. Was there a particular point in the grand final that you thought, we've got them here and we've got a chance to just enjoy the moment? Because I think, if I had to be perfectly honest, watching it, I thought the game was over probably around about or towards the end of the third, maybe the start of the fourth. Was that? Am I almost exactly correct with how you both saw it?
I think it's a little bit tricky. It's never over until the siren sounds. So you always kind of play right up until. Definitely at halftime, we felt like we had a really good lead on them, but there's still half a game to go and anything could happen. So we went back out second half going at 0-all, and to continue playing as hard as what we were and to get that score back on the board as per se. I mean, for me, definitely that 3/4 time, I did breathe a spell of fresh air and just go, okay, we just need to start slowing it down and like taking our time now with this. We don't have to be so aggressive. And I think that was probably reciprocated as well with a few players, just being able to slow it down, take our marks, take that time. But I mean, it's really not until you hear that siren do you actually get that feeling of, oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to agree with Sammy on that. Like she said, when we came out of the halftime, everyone in their mind was, yep, it's 0-all, we're starting this again. So there really wasn't, we weren't, putting the foot on the brake or anything. Like everyone in their mind was like, we're coming out, we're going to put points on the board. But yeah, in that like fourth quarter, you can see the time ticking down. You're like, oh, it's almost done. Let's savor the moment kind of thing. We're doing pretty good. So. Yeah.
I'm assuming, Sammy, you were the one who got to hold the Premiership Cup first?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yep. Heavy.
So how good was it to hold the Premiership Cup first before the whole team swarmed on you and your coach, Mitch?
Yeah, really good. I mean, getting up there on stage and holding it up with Mitch and obviously all the girls up there having our photo taken. Like it is a really good feeling as well, like coming to the end of the season after being in that leadership group and seeing everything kind of go on throughout the year. It does really make it worthwhile when you get to the end and you're able to celebrate that as a team. I also think that regardless, win or lose on that day, the Sherwood club, the women's club, we were going to do that anyway.
I can see both of you wearing your Premiership medals around your necks, which I'll get both of you to show it to us now.
Yeah.
There it is. So, so how long did both of you wear your medals around your necks for? And did either of you sleep with it?
So no, I didn't sleep with it.
No, I don't think we're the wildest players on the team.
No.
But I know there's a lot of girls on the team that probably did have it the entire night. I'm not going to name names, but Sammy and I probably we're just not the wildest on the team. So
yeah.
But I know for a fact that people woke up with it around their neck.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll get to the Premiership celebrations afterwards because I want to hear both your stories on what M. Robbo mentioned to me last week. But I know you're not meant to do this during COVID times, but did either of you kiss the Premiership Cup?
Oh, I drank out of it.
I drank from it, yeah. Suppose that counts. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I didn't even think to kiss it, to be honest. No. There you go.
Okay.
Now we're going to do it again. So, yeah. I never would have thought to do that.
What makes this team so special?
Personally, the team like makes it so special. For me, there's quite a few girls that I've gotten to play with for a few years, which I think is pretty cool. My sister's on the team. One of her best friends is on the team, and we like played together in high school. So it's pretty special getting to play alongside each other for years. Like high school was 7 or 8 years ago. But it like going on from that, the whole team is just there's like this amazing kind of friendship amongst everyone. I think our team has a pretty good culture, like that. We're all just kind of playing for each other, and I know we won the grand final, but it's the main focus in our team is to have fun and just to play for each other, honestly. And yeah, I think that's pretty special. And we have a lot of players that this is their first season or they're only new to footy, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I probably take it a little bit different approach, being one of the leaders on the team. My aim is to try and get as many girls involved as possible, and also to keep them involved. But through doing that and having some of those games that we play, in our warm-up before training and just catching up. So we actually have each week, we have on a Wednesday on our stretch down, we have a weekly highlight. So we go around the circle, sometimes there's 30 or 40 there, including the coaching staff, and we share one good thing about the week. And it's just really nice to be able to celebrate one success or one little win from all of these girls that we kind of take on, not only as, our friends, but also our footy family. So being able to do that and support one another, some of the things that we come up with is people buying houses or getting married in those weeks, engagements as well, but down to those little things of I got a pay rise this week. We're celebrating and we are connecting together off the field. So I suppose that with Sherwood, I value that time. And that's something that I really believe is very important in a team environment and a club environment too. And also that just personally, I quite like hearing about lots of other people and what they're doing, because it might be something that I could then take on board as well. So, that kind of club culture, as Kate said, like we do have a really tight club culture. If one of us gets injured, there's always people that are putting up their carpooling, making sure that we get people to and fro. So it's just that we've gained a team and a teammate, but we've also gained such a big footy family in that, which is obviously really important going forward.
Very well said,
Thanks, mate.
It was very well said.
Follow that.
No, it was. That tells me about your coach, Mitch.
Mitchell, oh my goodness. So he's up late, up early, constantly footy. He puts his heart and soul into every single thing that he can possibly think of with the women's team, to the point where sometimes I have to say too much. But all round, like Mitch has just pulled in from every avenue, every support network that he possibly could find for us. And through the leadership team as well, like checking in with us and seeing what else do the girls need, what else do we need. He's an excellent role model going forward. Like he always gets out there and has a kick with us as well towards the end. He does like to be the shining star sometimes. But definitely, like, there's not a training session that he misses that he's not involved in any way. So, definitely have to commend him on his support throughout the entire season and just his commitment to it.
I think like Sammy said, his commitment, his girlfriend Cass needs a shout out because we take so much of Mitch's time. He dedicates, you know, obviously I'm not in the leadership team, so I don't get the emails at God knows what hour, but but I know I mean, I've seen on his Instagram, he's down at the club like every single day, every weekend just about. So, you know, shout out to his girlfriend for never seeing him because we get him the whole season, but it's just a reflection of how dedicated he is to, you know, trying to better the team and make everyone, you know, enjoy it and love it the way he does, because footy is a big part of his life, and I think he just wants us to, you know, love it and share it the way that he does. So
I know that your team wasn't the only team to win it on the day from the club there at Sherwood, because I believe your under 13 girls also won it as well on the same weekend. How special was that to, you know, and did they give you a bit of inspiration on winning this premiership?
So yeah, the girls would play the day before, and I went down to watch them as well. They were in Brisbane playing, so that was nice and local for a few of us. So we went out and watched the young ones, and it was a very close game, but you could just see towards the end like how committed they were and how happy they were as a group and what that achieved, you know, alongside of their coaching staff. So that was really nice to see them and also support them. There's a few of us that or a few of the girls from the team that are the water runners for them. So we're always trying to keep the engagement from some of these younger girls, you know, obviously build that up because they are going to be the ones coming through and, well, taking our spot with better skills probably by then. But yeah, that was definitely, you know, a really proud moment that these girls that have come out to some of our training sessions, you know, were able to have that success the day before us. So I don't know if I was thinking about it on the day of our grand final, but definitely it's a full club celebration.
And did any of them come out to your grand final, making that huge trip down to the Gold Coast?
They did. Yeah. I was going to say it, like Sammy said it, you know, we see them at training and we see them around the club and they'll come to our home games and stuff, which is really cool throughout the season. And I suppose you don't put too much thought into it on grand final day because, you know, there's so much going through your mind already. But I distinctly remember after the game, you know, we're all celebrating and whatnot, we're getting off the field and I see like 3 or 4 of those girls are on the sideline, everyone's giving them high fives. I'm like, that's really cool to think that they, you know, their parents drove them all the way down just to support us. So, you know, it was pretty special. It's really cool that, you know, there's such a, like quite a bond kind of forming between the younger women in the club and us. So hopefully, I'm sure it'll just get better moving forward as well. And there'll be more of them and stuff.
How did both of you get involved in footy and why did you choose it?
So I grew up in South Australia, and so very big AFL in South Australia and Adelaide. All of my 3 brothers at some point in time were involved with football, AFL. So I was pretty hungry for it, but never really got the opportunity to. And then when I moved over to Queensland, I found a local club and I just rocked up by myself. And I actually don't remember like meeting quite a few of the girls on that first night because that was like 4 or 5 years ago, but obviously they made an impact. And being like, I grew up with my brothers and I played sport for so many years. It was a lot of those skills were actually carried across, which was quite good. And I actually, don't have a too bad a kick on me. So that's good. I played a few different sports growing up, but my friend Em Convery, who's on the team actually, we were like on the couch one day talking, like, let's play sport, let's do AFL, let's do rugby. And the AFL team that we used to play for was the first one to text me back or message me back on Facebook. I just sent out some messages and was like, hey, I want to play, like, where do we come? And AFL responded first. So we went down, met Sammy there, met like most of my best friends through footy. But it was a random thing. And it was like one of the best choices I've made in my life because it has impacted me and like shaped my life in such positive ways. So yeah, it was a very random thing, but it was a really good thing.
You mentioned at various times throughout this interview that obviously your brothers and sisters play the sports or still play the sport or used to play the sport. So my question I want to ask is, and I always ask when brothers and sisters play the sport, is who's the better footballer?
I'd say it's definitely me and my family now. Yeah, I think I'm also, a PE teacher, so I keep myself pretty active with that and using all of those skills quite regularly. So I reckon, any kind of running or kicking race, I reckon I'd have all my brothers on with that. That wouldn't be an issue.
Well, and my sister's 2 years younger, but she plays a different position to me. So she's defensive. I think that, I'm faster and I'm the better kicker, but yeah, sorry, Laura. But Laura's savage. It's deceiving. She's small, but I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle her.
She can tackle. Yeah. So
she's much better defensively than me, and I wouldn't want to go head to head with her. So I think we make a good team because we're at opposite ends.
Oh, well, let's hope she doesn't listen and watch this one back. Now, both of you mentioned right at the start what position both of you play on the field. If you had a preferred position, we'd love to convince your coaches to put in next season, where would that be?
I like playing in the centre purely because I feel like I can read the play and kind of get around with a lot of the other girls that are in there and kind of just deviate and talk, basically. It's that almost on-field coaching, but not really. So that's probably, an area that I really like being in. And also I've always been a runner. So being in that centre position, I follow the ball wherever it goes. So yeah, that centre position is definitely my preferred.
Yeah, and honestly, it's dependent on me. I'm like a fast runner, but I'm not a very fit long distance runner. So if I can get my own fitness up, I'd love to be in the midfield more because, yeah, I'm quick, but I'm just not quick for very long. So I same as Sammy, I like hanging around the midfield and like kicking it to our forwards. I think I've got a pretty big, I think we're pretty similar with our skills.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we're good at just shifting the ball from that midsection into our forwards to do their thing. So, and I think we play pretty well together when we're playing alongside. So, yeah.
What does the sport of football mean to both of you, especially being there at Sherwood?
I think football in general is kind of a really good outlet for to wind down at the end of the day, but also pump yourself up with that running, agility, tackling. Football just gives you so many different avenues that you can, put into one. And I think that's why I like it so much. You've got so many different concepts that you can work on, so many different skills that you can also, develop over time. So, what it means to me is probably, the football family one at Sherwood is definitely my number one. Without the rest of the team, without those girls there. And all right, I'll throw it into the coaching staff too. It just wouldn't be the same, obviously. So, football to me is definitely a big part of my life, but also a really good outlet.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with Sammy. It is such a good outlet for, we all have pretty stressful jobs, and just being able to go to footy training and going to the games, it is an outlet and a chance to be physical. But it also is it's such a good community, and it's like a lifestyle you kind of come into. Weekends are our partners, our families are coming down to the games, you're meeting all these people, and it extends through not just the season, out of the season you're still hanging out. I've met my best friends through footy, and it's the physicality side of it is great, and the getting to play, but
bruises.
Yeah, it's just the community, and it's the whole engaging with people and meeting all these new people, and yeah, that's what I love about it. So I hope I'm involved for the rest of my life, be it I intend to play for a very long time, but I just I've never had a sport where the community's like this.
I'll have a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. Now, let's see if I guess similar answer what I had from M. Robbo last week. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moments on the field this season, and what was it?
I got a good one for grand final. Selena. I love it, absolutely love it, but Selena kicked the ball in the wrong direction at the start of the third quarter. thank God she's such a good player, and she made up for it. Doesn't matter. But it was just like, look, Selena's usually so on it. Like, what was she doing? That was a pretty good one.
I actually don't know who it was, but at one stage in a tackle, somebody got their pants pulled down, which I thought was pretty amusing. Well, I actually don't know who it was, but I certainly had a giggle.
It was you, wasn't it?
No, I was on the bench, I swear.
Who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
Liv.
Dancer, yeah, Liv Bell. Yeah, definitely.
She actually runs in our interpretive dance / stretching at the end of our trainings, just to keep it lighthearted. So we've got to give her a shout out for that. She's a good dancer.
Singer.
Oh, also, sorry, I know another really good dancer, Samara Mahoney, who's also one of our players. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't bounce to this one sooner, but Samara Mahoney is an amazing dancer that not everyone has got to experience Samira, but she's a good dancer.
I'd have to also give the best singer award to Samara, because actually on
yes,
the night, she did source herself a microphone at one stage. So we were blessed with the sound of her voice up until the time that she was picked up. So yeah, she definitely gets singer. Comedian.
Yeah, you're a smart ass. So.
I'd probably say I'm a bit of a smart ass. I'm not really comedian, but definitely I'll pipe up and, say, always have my little 2 cents worth while the coach is talking. He probably doesn't like me for it, but I'll always put in 2 cents worth.
Which brings me to my question I was going to get back to in regards to Premiership celebrations. Now, it is in regards to Samara, I'm pretty sure. Now, tell us, how was the Premiership celebrations afterwards?
Yeah, really good. I mean, we all had to make the drive back from the coast to our footy club so that we could all celebrate down there together and kind of bring that together, because we knew that there was a lot of football families that were also watching at the club, and then we're going to come and be there. So we all made the drive back, and then once we got to the footy club, live music, drinks were flowing. Premiership Cup, we realised very quickly that it leaked. That was disappointing. So it just made us drink out of it faster. And then, obviously the girls, just so much dancing and singing. Like that's definitely a big strong point, the dancing and the singing.
But that's just our team. That's
that's it.
That's a standard, whether it's a grand final or like random week,
any other
week 4 away game, God knows where. It's just a standard that we celebrate.
Yeah, there was some late night party animals, and I would definitely say Emily, she was one of them. Who you interviewed. I can't remember. I actually think that it was Emily who we were pulling off the tables at one point, and David. So yeah,
and Mitch. I saw his Instagram.
Okay, and Mitch too.
Oh, okay. That one didn't get mentioned by Robbo. To ask, do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Do you know what? I don't, but I certainly watch what others do, and they do. I don't really know.
No, I don't at all. Like half the time I'm like running from work to the game, so I'm like, no time. But no, I don't have anything.
No, not at all. How's that? I mean, when I get into the change rooms, I always bring my speaker, so we're straight onto the music. So I suppose pre-game, got to have the beats rolling, but that's about it.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Usually we'll have M. Convery and Tui Sinclair, 2 very good dancers on our team. The music's pumping. They're doing their thing dancing. It's kind of like gets me hyped up, like once the girls start feeling it. But yeah, no rituals aside from that, just music, really.
Yeah.
Is anyone into their TikToks?
I don't make them, but I love watching them.
Yeah. I am not. No. But I definitely know that on the night there was a TikTok video made of all of us drinking out of the cup.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh well, Kate didn't know that.
Yeah. Our team manager, Kiara, shout out, she made a video from it. So
And I know Em answered this question pretty well. I'm assuming you had a fine system this year.
oh
Yeah, we did. We did. I was actually part of that committee.
Who copped the most fines, and what was the weirdest fine ever dished out?
I should know this because I'm the one that's
You're on the committee.
Yeah, I'm actually on the fine committee, and I'm meant to inform if people don't pay their fines. I'm meant to chase them up. But I'm pretty slack on it, to be honest. Really bad, and I'm so sorry for Jess and Grace, who literally carried the team on that aspect. So
Carried the fines committee.
they did. They carried the team. So I'm like, sorry, girls, that I didn't pull my weight. But I don't know who was always getting them.
Do you know what? It was very much across the board.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure though that it was Robbo who just fronted up. She paid in credit at the start because she knew that she would. Yeah. She knew that she would be one to have a few fines under her belt, and she didn't then want to have to go ahead with the consequences. So I know she prepaid her fines. The weirdest fine that we had
a lot of media fines. It's not weird, but a lot of our girls get their photo on like uni related things and just popping up around the city. So it was kind of cool at the same time. Like it's a bit of a flex to get a fine for that. So
yeah.
But
I mean, I got a $5 fine because in a tackle I dislocated a girl's shoulder.
$5.
That was $5 well spent. No, I'm just kidding.
That should have went to her.
Yeah, so I mean, total unintentional, but I copped a fine for that. So
Mentioned about fires. Now, I asked Robbo this question last week, and now Kate did sort of mention it just a little bit just then. Is doing this interview part of a fine?
Ooh.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Is it? Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, and Robbo better pay up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll cop that. We'll cop that.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your advice to people out there that should get involved in footy, especially down there at Sherwood?
So anybody who's thinking of getting out there and playing AFL, you know, as much as it is a little bit hard to get there, I suppose, to get yourself started, but taking that first step is honestly the best thing that I ever did, going down, meeting the girls the first night. Yeah, I was pretty shy, but then what I've now got from that has just built this really, really big friends and, you know, community environment that I get to be involved in. So anybody who's thinking about it to get involved with AFL, especially within women's, you don't have to have any prior knowledge, anything like that. We've got girls that this was their first season. So just do it, you know, like it's definitely something that you won't regret.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. I think just do it, give it a go. That's what both of us did. No experience. I knew one person was walking onto the team with me, but we didn't know anyone. It's a bit scary and it's a bit daunting, but just give it a go. Anyone who has kids that want to join, I think give them every opportunity to do it, because I think that just being involved in the community, even for parents taking their kids down, will be awesome for them as well. But yeah, just have a go. Don't hesitate. What's the worst that could happen? You don't like it and you don't show up again. So yeah.
Mitch messages 8 times.
What have you got to lose, honestly? You just give it a shot.
Both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. From all of us here at Smash FM, congratulations on the Premiership success. Well deserved. And hopefully next year that you can make it back to back in 2022.
Hopefully.
Pressure's on.
We'll see.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
No worries. And that's, of course, Emmy and Kate there join us from the Sherwood women's football team, who won their premiership over Jindalee down there at Bonyini only 2 weeks ago. Of course, you want to get involved for next season, of course, in 2022 with the Magpies. Of course, we'll put all the details up on how you can get involved down there. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.